You are watching PEMU TV, Buri Hamwe.
And handed over to the beneficiaries on a ceremony on 5th Feb, presided over by some of you, the political leaders. The other major activity will be the medical outreach activities, and the details of that program is tabulated, and the district leaders are encouraged to go with this program to popularize it so that our people can benefit. It's a long and elaborate program of our doctors. The teams have been set up and they are going to be in the area starting 26th, but the work will commence on 27th after the regional launch. Right Honorable Prime Minister, general mobilization, which is political work and civil military cooperation activities, will include planting and distribution of trees, cleaning of urban centers, distribution of some reflective jackets to our young people, and also working with corporate entities, some of them who are represented here and who have generously supported our effort. Our chief guest, there will be an ideological orientation seminar for our youth leaders and women leaders from all districts of the Soga sub-region, which will be hosted at Wanyange Girls Secondary School from the 30th of January to 5th Feb, and some of you have been invited to interact with these leaders. Also, there will be civil military cooperation and political mobilization sessions with all strata of leaders in the Busoga sub-region during this Defense Forces Week. The sessions will enable UPDF to foster harmony and understanding between itself and the public. The interaction will enable UPDF commanders to share experience with the population in an effort to identify issues that affect our general well-being. In order to appreciate the historic contribution from NASA to the struggle for peace and security of Uganda, the ministry leadership during this launch has put on a program a brief tribute to one of the many revolutionary leaders, especially from the Busoga area, the late Right Honorable Chirunda Chibejinja, to appreciate his contribution and that of his comrades to the struggle that has led to the socio-economic transformation of Uganda, and this will be presented by none other than our own, the Right Honorable Chintu Musoke, Prime Minister Emeritus. I believe we are in for real fountain of wisdom from a person who knows that comrade. In the general mobilization, our UPDF spouses desk will be involved in Tarihe Sita activities with grand exhibitions, and will also launch workshops for our wives in Jinja Cantonment and Magamaga Cantonment. Our Right Honorable Prime Minister and our invited guests, especially from the region, we shall have vibrant cultural and sports activities during the Tarihe Sita Defense Forces Week. The ministry and the UPDF will distribute some scholastic materials, some selected, especially primary schools in the region. We want to organize games and sports between ourselves and the young people, especially in all the districts. And we want also to participate in cultural galas with the civilian cultural groups together with our groups. And there is an elaborate program. Every district will have a match between the UPDF team and any selected team from the districts. There is a whole program which, in the interest of time, will be given to the district leaders for purposes of mobilization. Our chief guest, let me give a highlight of the main events of the week before I conclude. As you see today, we are honored that you will launch the activities at a national level. On Saturday 27th, we shall now launch the activities in the region. And that regional launch will be at Mbuyahead district headquarters, and the invited guest is the first Deputy Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Mama Rebecca Alitwara Kadaga, who will officiate the launch, and will be accompanied by our own Lieutenant General Peter Rweru, our Deputy CDF, and other generals, Major General Igumba, Brigadier General Nyarwa, and Brigadier General Charles Byanyima. Simultaneously, on 28th January, we shall have district launches, and for purposes of information, I wish to highlight that in Mayuge, we've invited and we have had confirmation from the Right Honorable Lukia Nakadama, who will be accompanied by the CPC, Brigadier Mwanje Sechilanda, and other senior officers. In Luka, we've invited Honorable Mire Babirian Babalanda, Minister for Presidency, and he will be accompanied by Major General Francis Okero, Brigadier Chigozi, and other senior officers. In Iganga, we have invited Honorable Major Retired Chakulaga Fred Bwino, and will be accompanied by Major General George Igumba and Brigadier Bakahumra and other senior officers. In Namutumba, His Honorable Namuganza will be accompanied by Major General Sam Kavuma and Brigadier General Retired Jackson Murondo and other senior officers. In Bujiri, we've invited Honorable Justin Kasule Lumumba, the Minister for General Duties Office of the Prime Minister, and will be accompanied by Lieutenant General Charles Otema, Brigadier General Jack Bakasumba, and Major General Jack Bakasumba, I beg your pardon, and other senior officers. In Jinja City, Honorable Vincent Bamulangaki Sempija will preside over the district launch and will be in company of Lieutenant General Erweru, Brigadier General Ruhesi, Brigadier John Patrick Otongo, and other senior officers. In Bugweri, we expect there Honorable Huda Absom Oreru, who will be accompanied by Lieutenant General Kayanja, Brigadier General Chris Ogwar, Brigadier Patrick Mwesije, and other senior officers. In Kariro, it will be Honorable Gume Frederick Ngobi, and will be accompanied by Lieutenant General James Mujira, Brigadier Goni, Brigadier Felix Kuleije, and other senior officers. In Jinja District, Honorable Judith Nabakova has been invited. Will be accompanied by Lieutenant General Charles Okidi, Brigadier General Semwanga, and other senior officers. And in Namayingo, the Honorable Minister for Kampala Capital City, Honorable Minsa Kabanda, will be accompanied by Major General Lake Kidega, Brigadier General Rwashande, and other senior officers. In Kamuli, shall have Honorable Jacob Oboth, and will be accompanied by Major General Francis Takirwa and Brigadier General Mike Kisame and other senior officers. There is a program also for the handover ceremonies, and the following political leaders have gracefully agreed to participate. Honorable Colonel retired Tom Butime will hand over the projects in Jinja District. In Mayuge, Honorable Sempija Vincent Bamulanga Kis will be handing over the projects, but also will reach out to the communities around the lake. In Namutumba, Honorable Jacob Bobo Joyce Moriko, Minister of State for Primary Education, will be in Iganga, and Honorable Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng Ochero in Namayingo District. I want to end by just, for purposes, Colonel Deo Karikona will be in Bugweri. And those of Bugweri, you can get his contact. He will be having first-hand information and will be programming with the district officials. In Mayuge, we have Lieutenant Colonel Bamutaze, David Bamutaze. In Namayingo, we have Colonel Anatoli Luwajira. In Jinja City, we have Colonel Justus Rukundo. In Luka, we have Lieutenant Colonel Arthur Mutebi. In Namutumba,
Delhi University, India. Kirunda had arrived in India 2 years before me and had gone to Madras University for his pre-university course. He was studying for a Bachelor of Science in Zoology, and I was pursuing an honors degree in political science and philosophy. We were both on Government of India General Scholarship Scheme set up by the late Pandit Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, to help the African independence struggle. When we met, Kirunda was an avowed zoologist who enjoyed cutting frogs and snakes and the like. To say the least, he was apolitical. But despite these initial differences, we fell for each other instantly and have lived as close friends and struggleists for over 6 decades. Little did I know then that I would be the determinant of Kirunda's life, even though he was 3 years older than I was. Little by little, I started talking to Kirunda and interesting him in the politics of our country. And he was listening fervently. Before long, as he started getting interested in my political conversation, I convinced him to take up leadership positions in student general organizations and in the Uganda Students Association in particular. He eventually became the chairman of the over 100 Uganda students who lived in Delhi then. The Uganda Students Association in Delhi was a branch of the over 300 Africans all over India. I was later to become chairman of the latter, the African students, for over 2 consecutive years. While he was serving as chairman of the Uganda Students Association in New Delhi, Kirunda linked up with another young man called Jaberi Bidandisali, with whom he had studied at Kivuli Secondary School in Kampala. Bidandisali was studying agriculture in Pakistan and was the leader of the Uganda students there. When one summer, these students, Bidandisali and the other students from Mbuyahead, was murdered by the Belgians and the collaboration of the CIA. We were enraged. And as a result, Kirunda Kivejinja led all the African students in Delhi, which followed Amin's overthrow. Bidandisali was appointed Minister for Local Government, which position he used to help enlarge the National Consultative Council of the UNLF. It was this enlarged NSC that Kirunda and I were directly elected to represent our home districts. And it was during our interaction in the ANCC with the colleagues like Yoweri Museveni, Elia Kategaya, and others that the idea of the third force came up. And the party we called the Uganda Patriotic Movement, UPM, was born, led by Yoweri Museveni as chairman, Bidandisali as secretary general, and Kirunda Kivejinja as secretary for finance. At the tail end of the UNLF government, I was appointed and served as the Minister for Transport. When the UNLF collapsed and was replaced by the rigged Obote II regime, Museveni and other activists rejected the results and launched the 5 years Bush War. This last meeting, the last meeting of the UPM, chaired by Yoweri Museveni, was held at my house in Lunguja. When UPM had lost the elections, we met as leaders of UPM at my house to decide on the future. We arrived at my house at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and sent our cars off so that we were not detected. And we went into meeting and met till 6 o'clock in the morning. Our chairman, the now president of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who chaired this meeting, I'm telling you now, made no substantive contribution in that meeting, except raising points of order and this and that. In the morning when I had served them tea and we were leaving, we got into my courtyard and his car had arrived and he turned around and said, "Comrades, yes, we have decided this and this and this and this and this." Yes. But what if this fool Obote decides to arrest us? That was his substantive contribution in all those. What about this fool? I'm using his words. What about if this fool Obote decides to arrest us? Then we muttered each his reaction. Oh, that struggle continues. You know, this normal political rhetoric. We go to prison. Then he said, "Comrades, I will not offer myself for arrest. I will fight him." And he got into his car and drove out. That was the last meeting of UPM. It has never met again. Three weeks later, Yoweri Museveni and his group were in Kabamba. 3 weeks after that meeting, we were in Kabamba. Bidansari was arrested because he was Secretary General of UPM. Kirunda Kivejinja joined Museveni in the bush, while I remained as an urban guerrilla, running our said printing business and using it to recruit fighters and supporting the fighters' families. My best recruit was Kirunda Kivejinja. When he was being hunted by the government, Kirunda was smuggled through Busoga to Kenya, disguised as a sleeping, drunk town boy in a truck driven by my brother, Yoram Kintu. In Kenya, he joined the NRM External Committee and played critical roles in raising funds, including soliciting for support from other countries like Libya. He also, with James Tumusime, launched the Resistance News, which published the news about the Bush War. When the Kenya government collaborated with the Obote government to return Uganda guerrillas back to Uganda, Kirunda headed for Austria, where he had contacts. He carried on NRM work and embarked on compiling his book entitled The Crisis of Confidence, which I recommend for reading. We had discussed the contents of this book before the onset of the war. After the Bush War, when the National Resistance Movement took power, Kirunda Kivejinja was appointed Minister for Rehabilitation and Bidansari Minister for Culture and Sports. For our group in this government, my name was conspicuously missing. During this period, Kirunda Kivejinja was transferred and served on various ministries. He also managed to complete and publish
Can I humbly request the CDF, Honorable Lieutenant General Peter Elwelu, the Chief Executive Officer of Rural Industries, Sam Kavuma, Member of Parliament, Major General Francis Okello, our Chief Political Commissar.
CPC has already told you that annually we celebrate Tarihe Sita with our people to commemorate the founding of a new Uganda and a new youth force through the patriotic sacrifices of FRONASA, NRA, and UPDF. It is therefore an important annual event for UPDF and the nation at large. Earlier on, our celebrations used to take place in the barracks until we became overwhelmed by the big numbers that used to follow us. And then we decided from the 24th anniversary to celebrate outside the barracks in a rotational manner according to regions. The commemorations became regionalized, and so this year we are heading to Busoga in the spirit that every first week of the month of February we have a Defense Forces Week set aside so that we can thank the people because they are the backbone of our security. We also go out there to express our solidarity with the people, and we also go out there to symbolically give back to the population through these quick impact activities that the CPC mentioned here. And all this is to reaffirm the strategic link between us and the population. Because like Mao Zedong said, the population is the sea, and for the army we are the fish. If the population doesn't support us, we will cease to exist, because it will be like the sea has dried and the fish cannot survive. So we go out there, back to you, to do accountability. And as I said, we have been doing this according to the regions. If I can remind you about the recent regions we have been to, 2021 we were in Greater Masaka and Kampala. 2022 we were in Greater Elgon sub-region. And last year we were in Greater Mbarara. Why did we choose Busoga this time around? In consultation with the President of the Republic of Uganda and the Commander-in-Chief, we chose Busoga region, which, as you've heard, is made of 11 districts and one city, Jinja City. And so this is the region that will host the Defense Forces Week activities, although my minister was saying that maybe we change the name from months activities, because we have already started some of these activities. And we did this to particularly accomplish a few things. One is to continue retracing the Fronasa circuit as a continuation of the 2022 Greater Elgon sub-region and the 2023 Greater Greater Mbarara sub-region catena of celebrations. Number two, in Busoga we want to recognize the earlier efforts in the fight against Idi Amin on the Mayuge front, where the Deputy Prime Minister comes from. She knows very well the Chiterera Forest Camp, Busesa, Karuba, and Musitanangoma Road Junction, memories of 1972. And this is also consistent with retracing the Fronasa circuit. 3, we commemorate the bloody clobbering that was received by the Lakwena group in that sub-region, bringing an end to her mystic cultic outlaws. Having entered the sub-region from Tororo, where my honorable here comes from, through Urugui, on the morning of 16th October 1987, and got infatuated with the Magamaga, the Nile Bridge, and Kampala, the enemy met lethal combination of local volunteers of Busoga and our forces. And because of this combined effort between the locals and ourselves,
I am pleased to officiate at this national launch of the 43rd birthday of our NRM, our army, the Uganda People's Defense Forces birthday, UPDF. Here, at the Military of Defense and Veteran Affairs headquarters in Mbuya. Right Honorable and all of you present, I bring you greetings and best wishes from the President of the Republic of Uganda, who is aware that we are here today. Join me also to congratulate our President and the NRM government and all of you Ugandans for successfully hosting the NAM and the G77 plus China conferences. These were global conferences, and I want to assure you it wouldn't have been possible if we did not have the UPDF behind us. So I want to thank you. It's a vote of no confidence in our country. I mean, it's a vote of confidence in our country when you see many heads of states coming to our country at the same go. We had over 24 heads of states who joined us in those two conferences. It's a vote of confidence, a global vote of confidence. Today marks the beginning of the busy week of activities to be carried out by UPDF. This busy week, which is known as Tarihe, Sita and Defense Forces Week, will be observed in the districts of Bugiri, Bugweri, Buyende, Iganga, Jinja, Kaliro, Kamuliruka, Mayuge, Namayingo, Namutumba, and Jinja City, as already mentioned. It will be marked under the theme celebrating the people's struggle for unity, security, and peace for socio-economic transformation. Today, I stand before you to express my solidarity with you, the UPDF, who have faithfully and resolutely defended our sovereignty. You have paid the ultimate sacrifice of human security and cultivating our revolutionary gains. You have been loyal, strategic partners since the years of Fronesa in the 1970s and NRA in the 1980s. It is pleasing to note that UPDF has not forgotten the support it received from the population that made it possible for a small guerrilla force transform itself into a formidable liberation force. The achievements this liberation force has registered clearly demonstrate the struggle was not in vain. Let us therefore remember the darker days of this country when there seemed to be no hope, as Uganda was seen as the most failed state characterized by unspeakable human rights abuses ranging from rape, looting, and mass murder. This situation caused massive dislocations and poverty, which are now history. UPDF is a non-partisan force, national in character, patriotic, professional, disciplined, productive, and subordinate to the civilian authority as established by the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. As we recognize Ladies and gentlemen, as we recognize the functions for which UPDF was founded, with the following mandate. 1. Preserving and defending the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Uganda. Cooperating with the civilian authority in situations of emergency and natural disasters. Number 3, fostering harmony and understanding between
ko ebintu bya Tarihe Sita no kwenda kwijuka abananchi n'abataka ukubaye kwatizo mu rutaro tukagaruka inyuma tukakwatanisa nabo kugira iki twakoraho icyo kwijutya ukubabire nibahagira urutaro uko ryo rutaro nitwe nk'abaruine twarugomba bataka. So ikindi cya kabiri no kwenda kuhamya emizi yitu yo yebigenderwa bitu byo rutaro ukureba ngo habaho oburinganiza habaho businge abantu ebintu byabo n'abantu amagara gabo garindwa kandi ukureba ngo ihe ryitu ya UPDF yagumari nemizi umbantu abarutandikire. Message y'ukereza abantu ya liberation yo kunura Uganda yo kuzahura Uganda no kureba ngo ebintu ebitutungire ukurwo mu kuzahura Uganda tibya sisikara bukagaruka inyuma kugeza kumanyisa aho twahika tutakaterera twagaruka inyuma entunguka obusinge buringaniza twabinyweza twabikwatsa kimwe kandi twijuke yitwarugire tugarike twara accountability umbantu kwenda kugumizamo no musinge gwe bitwarwanira
twabantu tutandika omukoro ntutongoza omukoro gw'abamahe ba UPDF ebibarukuza kukora nibijuka emyaka yabo 43 yibashyikiye batandike nkamahe abanyankore abarukurwo mu ruburengero izo abantu bijuka ngo omwako gwahwire ekaba eri yankore mbwe ntati nibaza kwijuka nibahereza banayinchi baza babombekera amarwaro nibabombekera amashomero nibakora ebijukizo buri kimwe cyona konkati nibaza kukikora mu rubusoga nibijuka kandi nibasima umurimo muhango gw'abasoga bakozere barukuhagira abamahe ba UPDF. So kutandika nizo bari abiruna mushanju kushitse biro mukaga okwa kabiri nibaza kubana bakora emirumo ejo mu rubusoga nko kubagikozere omuri yankore nibakore obutindo nibombeka amashomero nibahunduza amarwaro nibombeka amasya nango bagaruka bijuka n'abantu abarwanirira obusinge omuri busoga nabo babakwataho twareba mbwene nkamaka g'umugenzi kirunda kivejinja nibaza gahunduza hamwe n'abandi barwanirire abaye bari mu Fronasa n'abandi kwijuka umurimo muhango gubakorire icyo ntwenda kukisimira abasirikare ba UPDF ekibariyo no bakora ko abanyankore bajya ngo utijuka tazumura so ntubijukiro kwijuka okwereza abantu baburijo nitwe nka parliament n'akakiko kanje nicyo turi kuguma ntubahere sente zo gukora imirimo ejo abo kube sente zo tukuba hano bazikozesa je munonga bazigarura ombantu bagaruka barindi hangariye itu omurabe tarukurga hero ngo yatwataho kandi tubarana corrupt bakurya nanguze bakora imirimo yo na mirunje.
Amazina nairaka ni Dr. Jibril Semakula owo mugisha kanda ari kureke bena cha Million Trees International Organization ekitongore kine partnership ningasho mukago na UPDF omukugaraho ebyo buhangwa ebya environment mbwenu ebitwetoreire mbwenu kaitwe aha mukoro nkogo gwa Tarihe Sita. We are always invited ningashini twetwa ku championinga ningashi confrontinga umurama gwa partnership yitu ukwatira no kugaraho ebyo buhangwa. And in this way itungo organization tubahire mitere kwinga no mutwaro gumwe ne 12 eyebijuma eri kuza kubyarwa mu mwanya gwa busoga ombwire bwenjura ukashanga buri family eyinemi imicungwa eyinefene specifically okurwanya senjaro mbantu tukabongera okutunge sente bakwiho mu misiri yabo na no kongera bibira ebitwine ahayitaka lyabahengi. Yes,
webale kuleba PMTV buri hamwe.